Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to our Build with ACSS series. The entire goal of this series is to help you learn how to best approach real world projects. We want you to understand the thought process that goes into creating websites, of course, following best practices for scalability, maintainability, and accessibility, using automatic CSS throughout your process, and arriving at really quality outcomes. In today's training, we are going to tackle the Zendesk.com homepage. This is a fairly robust homepage. We're going to talk together through some of the challenges that might be present in a project like this. We're going to talk about colors. We're going to talk about spacing, everything that you need to know in order to tackle a real project like this. That's exactly what this series is for. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to do is take a look at the development environment that we've set up for this project. We are trying to go with a bare minimum stack. Okay, so I'm going to go into the plugins area, and the only plugins that are active right now on this site are automatic CSS and frames. If I go into the appearance section, you're going to see that I have bricks and the bricks child theme active. We don't even have WP Codebox. We're going to be doing any custom CSS that's required. If it's not in bricks, it's going to be in the bricks child theme CSS file. And that's pretty much it. I've got a media library where I've taken a bunch of the images that are used here and I've put those in. So those are all ready to go. The only other thing I've done is I've gone into custom fonts and I've installed the 2 fonts that Zendesk uses for their headings and their body text. That is all I have done. Most of automatic CSS is left on our blueprint defaults. I haven't done any customization in terms of this particular website or this particular project. There are no pages, there are no custom post types, there's no nothing. So we are starting from absolute scratch. In fact, if I look at the homepage, this is exactly what you are going to see as far as a homepage goes. So let's go ahead and flip over and just take a look at the Zendesk.com homepage and see what might the challenges be. I see here we have a what I thought was a tab section, but it's actually looking more like a synced slider section. Like this would be the slider navigation. And then this is acting as an image slider. And this is acting as a testimonial or content slider. And these 3 sliders together are linked so that they always do the same thing when you click on the navigation tabs. Okay, we don't have too many colors going on. We do have this pinky purpley color. I guess it's more purpley. And it goes to black on hover. The other one is a black outline button. We're using black for a lot of the text. In fact, if we inspect this, we can see if it is pure black. It doesn't look like it's pure black. It's this color right here. And what we're going to need to do first is, really get our colors down and understood, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically sample these more or less. So I'm going to sample, let's pick a color right here and let's go ahead and Google that color. And then let's pick another color. You don't have to do everything with automatic CSS to get started. Really, it's if you can get your colors put in, and, really that's it. I mean, you can do most of everything else on the fly, but it is very helpful to kind of understand your colors and that situation before you get started. I'm going to go ahead and sample this one and Google it. We're going to come down and we are going to sample. So I got the dark text. I got these 2 background. Oh, this one right here. Let's go ahead and sample this color and Google it. That may be, I wonder if that's part of the action color family. Let's go ahead and grab, I can't sample that one because it moves. So let's go ahead and see if we can find it in here somewhere. Let's go to the computed color. It's probably, there's the A, there's a div. I wonder if it's on the div. Sometimes with these, when the DOM is not very clean or they're doing a bunch of fancy stuff, it can be difficult to find what colors they're using sometimes. I do not see background color. That's not the color though. Let's go with, open this up before. It's on a before pseudo element. Okay, that's interesting. So let's grab that RGB color and open it. Excellent. And do we have any other colors that we're working with? It doesn't, that's just images right there. Oh, this green color. Okay, so we're gonna sample this green color right here, and we're gonna Google that one. Though I don't really need to Google that one, but because I can see exactly what's going on there. And then this one that's just the kind of a dark variant of that. And this dark background, I wonder if it's the same as our text. So let's go ahead and sample this one. And I think that one is maybe the same. Interesting. Okay. So there's this one right here and this one right here. I wonder if these two are in the same hue family. They're not. Okay. So our action color, this is going to be our action color right here because it is, why is it our action color? Because it's the color of the buttons. Okay. So automatically you should say that's going to be my action color. That's pretty easy to decide on. The next thing that we need to know is this light color and this color? I'm fairly confident that these two colors right here, these two shades are part of the same hue. But what I really want to know is if this dark background back here and if the dark text right here, which I don't even know if I sampled this. Let's go ahead and sample it again. Okay, and let's put it next to that one and see if it's the same. So that's 4829.7. Those two are the same. Okay, so our text and our footer are basically the same. What I want to know is if this hue, 48 degrees, is the same as our shades, 38 degrees and 40 degrees. Those are very, very, very close together. I'm going to say that all three of these colors right here are our base colors. Okay, so that's going to be our main background base foundation. So we have our base color selected. We have our action color selected. I'm going to put this color. It's got like a reddish tone to it. I'm going to put that in our primary palette. And then what are we going to do with our green? This is used very, very sparingly across the website, like here, and I don't really see it being used anywhere else. It's not used in the navigation anywhere. It's really very, very minimally used, which means it's going to be assigned to our accent palette. Okay, so the first thing I want to do, now that we've kind of got our color situation sorted, is I want to program those colors into automatic CSS, starting with our action color. So I'm going to find which one is our action color. It's this one right here, and we are going to pop that in as our action color. Now, I said we're going to have a primary color. That's going to be this one with the that kind of ruby red kind of deal. All right, so that's going to go into primary. Our secondary slot, we are not going to use. So we're going to go ahead and turn that off. We don't need it. We do have an accent color, as we discussed. So I'm going to find that one. It's right here. I'm going to bring that into our accent color slot. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And then the only other thing that I need is our base color, which is right here. I'm going to bring that into our base. Perfect. And there's going to be some adjustments on shades that we need to do with regard to that. Neutral can stay on. Contextual colors can stay on. So basically we have secondary turned off. We're going to be using all of the others. Okay. I do want to turn off the shade color in deprecation. I want to turn off text larger. I don't need any deprecated styles from automatic CSS in this project. So there's a new project. We don't want to use deprecated features going forwards. Okay, I think we are more or less, actually, one more thing before we get started, just because it's easy. We want to figure out what our content width of our website is, all right? What is our website dimensions? We're going to leave the minimum pretty much at all times. It's this maximum value that's really, really important to get right. So in order to do this, I'm going to inspect one of the content sections. We're going to come in and we're going to see how wide is this content right here. And I see 1520. You can see everything is aligned within a box that is 1520 pixels wide. So I'm going to change 1366 to 1520. And we're going to need to go make sure that that is the same in Bricks. Okay, so that Bricks Builder understands what we are trying to do. I'm also, while I'm here, going to put this XL, actually I'm going to activate our XXL breakpoint. And I'm going to put that at 1520. And then I'm going to put this somewhere in the middle. We're going to go with probably back at 1366. or maybe even 12, probably 1280. And we may adjust this as we go. I need to see how the breakpoints are behaving across our website. But I think this is good for right now. So content width is 1520, XXL is 1520, XL is 1280. I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. Okay, perfect. Next thing I'm gonna do is get rid of all of our colors. We can go sample those again if we need to when we're adjusting shades and things like that. But I really need to get into the Bricks builder now and see what's going on inside Bricks. Are our fonts set? Is our content width set inside of Bricks? Let's go check that out. So I'm gonna go into theme styles here. I'm gonna go down to element container, and I see a raw value here. One trick is if you want your website width in Bricks to always sync with automatic CSS, you just use the content width variable, and now it's automatically synced, and they will always stay together no matter what. Okay, the next thing I wanna do is get my breakpoint situation settled. So my base breakpoint, I'm going to put at 1520. All right, there's 1520. We're gonna go ahead and update that, and I'm going to add a breakpoint, and this is gonna be our XL breakpoint. And this is, I'm sorry, we'll put the label up here. And then this is going to be, what did I say? 13, no, we did 1280, okay? So that's gonna be 1280. And I'm going to create, all right, so we've got our base breakpoint, we've got 1280, we've got 991, okay, which this can be 991 to match. Perfect. 768 is actually 767. All right, 767. And then 480 is 478. We'll just make sure all of our breakpoints match here. 478. Perfect. So we've got 1520, 1280, 991, 767, and 428. Okay. And if you want to, you can, relabel these. Like here's L, and then this one is M. And these would just correspond better to automatic CSS. Those are the labels that we use in automatic CSS. And this one can just be called like XXL. Okay. Yep, XXL. All right, so that's pretty much set. We're gonna go ahead and close that and we will refresh. So everything should be set now as far as our website width, our breakpoints, our colors. We can actually get to building now. So in order to get started on this, we actually need to hop back out of the editor and go to the templates area in Bricks. We're going to use our templates area to create our header. And we also need to create our footer. Now to save time, a little bit of time, and just to give you a taste of kind of how frames can help you on certain website builds, I will use frames here and there, but I'm not gonna overuse frames because you miss a lot of the tutorial aspect of actually building if I use frames for like almost everything, right? So I'm gonna do a lot of just manual building with automatic CSS, but for certain things like the header, I don't even know on the footer on this, I might just build that manual. But here or there, I'm gonna sprinkle in like, oh, and look, if you use a frame, it speeds up your workflow like this, right? Okay, so let's use a frame quickly for the header. So I'm gonna go into templates. I don't need two of those windows open, and I'm gonna say header. We're gonna assign this to the header area. I'm gonna go ahead and hit publish. And then we are going to edit with Bricks. And what I'm noticing here is a 2-column header. So there's like a row up here and then another row. And I'm fairly certain we have a header template that matches that. I'm gonna hit refresh here, make sure we have all the latest frames. And then I'm going to go down into headers. And we're gonna see right here, header Bravo is a stacked header. It's got this strip up here, and then it's got this main area right here. The other thing that I wanna do, we didn't check theme styles, typography, fonts. I can tell right now when I import that frame, I don't have any fonts loaded, right? So I need to use social for our headings. I believe that's correct. And feature, maybe I have this backwards. I think I have this backwards. I think, oh yeah, that's right. Headings is feature, body is social, okay? Let's make sure that our font weight here is 700 for our headings. We're gonna go ahead and hit save, and then we will refresh, make sure the builder has all the latest data. Okay, perfect. And it looks to me like, the next question I'm asking myself is, are there any white sections of this website, or is everything this like, I'm gonna call this base ultra light, I'm gonna call this base light, I'm gonna call this down here probably just base because we sampled that actual color. So that's going to be our base ultralight, and base light. I think that's all we need. And it looks like the main default background color for this entire website needs to be base ultra light. So I'm going to go into automatic CSS again. I'm going to go to the viewport tab, and down here under body, instead of var white, we're going to go with var base ultra light. Okay, we're going to hit save on that. And then I'm going to open our header template again. And we're going to see if we have, there we go. So we have a base ultra light background now instead of a white page. So we're already getting to where we need to be. The next thing I'm looking at is, what is the size of this little row up here? I feel like it's very, very tiny, almost no padding whatsoever. I actually don't like the way that looks. I don't like the fact that these links are almost touching the top of the browser window. That does not look very good to me. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to go crazy with this, right? But I'm going to go into style layout, and I'm going to see that space XS is already applied. That's still a little too big. I might just go rogue here and go like 0.25 em, something smaller, but that's, still workable. And I need to go with text S on this font size up here. That's going to be our top link text. I'm going to go with text S. Okay, so now we have a very small strip. You can see that it's the same exact color, background color wise. What we need is a little border bottom on this. And we're going to do that here on header Bravo main. We're going to go down and add a little border, 1 pixel to the bottom that's going to be solid. And I'm a big fan of using transparencies here. I can use base trans 10, and it's going to give me a nice, just a nice, like kind of, dark, but faint, I guess faint is the best word for it, faint border that basically more or less matches exactly what we're seeing there, okay? The next thing I wanna do is get our Zendesk logo in. And I'm gonna see, yeah, we've got 2 buttons over here. We've got a centered navigation. Okay, we're gonna handle all of the nav stuff probably later. It's something I don't start with the navigation typically. I just kind of get a placeholder header in place more or less, and then I start working on the rest of the homepage, and then I come back. I do a lot of low-hanging fruit first, and then I come back and do more of the technical aspects of the website. Just helps me feel like I'm making progress a little faster, okay, and not getting bogged down in any one specific area. So on this FR logo class, I'm actually gonna rename this to just logo. And I'm going to drop the size of this logo down. So let's say the width is going to be 150 pixels. Okay, let's see 120 pixels. And let's look at what they've got going on here. We can actually just measure this. All right, let's see. Okay, they've got about it looks like 84 pixels. Let's see how that looks. 84. Okay, that's good. And I want to convert that to rem. So CTR and then hit enter, and it's going to convert that value for me to rem units. All right, so I want that to scale just like fonts if the person decides to scale their website text up. All right, that's good. It's just better for accessibility purposes. All right, I still feel like this top row is, let's just zero this out here and see what's going on. Okay, it still feels like that row is not getting any, oh, it's got a height on it. Okay, we're gonna remove the height. Let's see if space XS works for this, or if we need to go smaller. I think we need to go smaller. We can actually do space XS divided by 2. We can use calcs, no problem. Now we've got a really skinny top section there. And then I'm looking at just the general padding in the rest of it, and it looks pretty good. It looks pretty good the way that it is. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit save. We're done with that for right now, except for the fact that I'm gonna delete this, and I am going to delete this address link, and this top links. I'm just gonna add a text link. Awesome. And I'm gonna call this header top link, just like that. I'm just gonna make my own class for it. And we are going to go text XS, text S maybe text S works. Yeah, that works. Okay, save that, perfect. And I'm not even gonna worry about anything else regarding that header for right now. So I'm gonna go back into templates, and we're gonna go into footer. I'm gonna go ahead and assign this to the footer, hit publish, hit edit with bricks. We can go in and now tackle, that's interesting. Let's open that in a new tab and see what it's doing with our logo. Why is it Why did it decide to start ignoring our width? Okay. Height. Let's see. Width, 5.25 rem, 120 pixels. Oh, it is totally ignoring now. Okay, there's another class on it that looks like it was, okay. So 80 CTR, 5 rem, perfect. Save, that's close enough. All right, let's get out of there. Let's get out of there. Let's refresh. Now we're working on our footer. Okay, so we are going to add a section, and then we're gonna call this footer. I'm not gonna use frames. I'm just gonna go ahead and build this from scratch. And really what I'm focused on right now is just these 4 columns, okay? I'm gonna do the rest of the footer later. We're just gonna tackle these 4 columns right here. And this is going to be, I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need to think about proper semantic HTML structure. This is a navigation. And we're gonna do, I was thinking about, should we make it separate navigations? I think semantically the best thing to do here is make it a single navigation. So this is gonna be an unordered list, another unordered list, another unordered list, another unordered list, another unordered list. And those are gonna have their own heading tags. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is say footer nav. All right, so this is going to be our navigation. We're actually gonna change this to a nav tag right here, and then we're gonna put a block in there. And that first block, okay, footer, we're gonna say nav list. That's gonna be a, and I'm thinking, let's think about structure here. Nav list, okay, this is gonna be a UL. All right. And then, so we've got our unordered list. We need a list item to go in there. So we're gonna add another block. This is gonna be a list item. All right, we're gonna HTML tag li this, perfect. Okay, so in an unordered list, we can have a list item. And we need to wrap this in a div. Okay, so we're gonna wrap, or just wrap it in a block, really. I need one more, let's wrap that in a block. Okay, and this is gonna be a column. All right, perfect. So we've got column, we've got list item. So footer, nav list item. We need to have a double underscore there. So we've got, this one I need to rename, okay? Footer, nav list, like that. And then we have footer, nav list item, that's good. And then footer, nav column. Just like that, awesome. And then this is the nav. And then we need to display this as a grid. We're gonna go with, see how many columns we need. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need a 5 column grid. Super easy to do with a grid 5 variable right here. I'm gonna go with the grid 1 variable on grid template rows. And then we're gonna probably need a gap of grid gap because that's a contextual variable. We just use that in the same situation over and over and over and over again. All right, so we've got our first column, which also, by the way, is going to have a heading. So we're gonna stick a heading into that column. All right, this is gonna be a column heading. And so we have footer, nav, column, heading, like this. Awesome. And what does that need to say? It needs to say products. And it's actually, looks like our body font, okay? Even though it's a heading, it is gonna be an H3. We are going to make this typography font family is going to be social. We're gonna make it our body font there. Okay, and now we're ready to put our LIs in. Here's our UL, here's our LI, which means now we need a link, right? Text link, I think that'll do, because we don't have any icons or anything else to worry about. We can just literally throw in a text link there. And that is going to be Zendesk for service, okay? So we're gonna put link in here and Zendesk for service, just like that. We're gonna link to an external URL. Excellent. Now I'm going to put a duplicate of the LI. You're not gonna duplicate the links. You're gonna duplicate the list items. It's an unordered list with list item, list item, list item, list item. And as you duplicate the list items, you're effectively duplicating the links as well. And so the next one is gonna say Zendesk for sales. All right, so Zendesk for sales. I'm just gonna get like 3 of these in for right now because I'm just getting us to a starting point that we can then build upon. So this is gonna say integrations. All right, perfect. I'm also noticing that our footer in general needs to have a background color of base. So I'm going to choose base, perfect, which means all of our column headings are probably going to need to be, okay, question, is that actually white or is that like base ultra light? And it looks like, if I had to guess, that it is color. Let's check here. Color is a base ultra light. That is not a white color, okay? So I am gonna go ahead and color this. We're gonna go to typography, color, base ultra light. See how fantastic it is? And I don't even know, it might even be base light. Let's go to base light. We can kind of preview them. I think it is base light. We're probably gonna tone down the base light in just a minute. We haven't gotten to that point yet, but I'm going to choose base light for now. It's very easy to change because I've got a class on it, so I'm not worried about that. The unordered list, the nav list, I'm going to go ahead and actually in the column, we're just going to use gap. In the column, we're going to use gap to space some stuff out. So row gap is going to be content gap, probably divided by 2. I don't want it to be too far. Well, actually, they did put quite a gap in there. Okay, let's just use our normal content gap for that. Excellent. Now, inside of our UL, we want to space out all of our links, right? And this looks like small text as well. So I'm going to go in and typography. We're going to go text S. That's going to give us small text there. And then I am going to do content gap divided by 2 here. I'm going to make sure that our links, ooh, I did not put a class on our link. So this is footer nav link. Footer nav link, just like that. And which means I need to delete, and then duplicate. That's okay. Just a little bit of backtracking there. Okay. And then the nav link, what are we going to style that one? Let's get this sampler here. That looks like base light as well. Okay. So let's go into typography and choose base light. Perfect. I can tell that hue's a little bit off. Maybe the saturation's a little bit off. It's okay. We can adjust that at any time. We just need to make sure that we're using our colors accurately, in terms of context. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back. Awesome. I'm not seeing anything else really that we need to do. We've got the semantic structure down that we need. So if I just duplicate, that's going to give us our 5 columns. Okay. And we're off to the races with our footer. While I'm here, I'm going to go ahead and decide, hey, how does this seem to break down? Okay. I'm probably going to change this to like a grid 3 situation here. And then here looks good still. And here looks good. I'm going to go to a grid 1 situation. All right. And now my footer is mobile responsive. Easy as that. Okay, let's go ahead and just take a look at what we've got going on our website. Let's go to, oh, we don't have a home page yet. Let's get our home page going and then we'll take a look at everything. So let's open the pages. Let's edit with bricks. Excellent, excellent, excellent. I like our progress so far. Let's take a look at our hero section. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and see if there's a hero frame that we can just pull in for this because it's a very basic section. So I'm going to go to remote templates. I'm going to go down to heroes, and it's probably something that we did in the very beginning. Like, yeah, hero alpha looks to be an exact match for what we need. I'm going to take out or just adjust the padding here. It's got some hero padding in there. I'm just going to take that out and use our normal padding. And you see almost right off the bat, like exactly what we're getting. And our buttons are all pulling from global button styles. If you're new to ACSS, this stuff is easy to change back in the dashboard. It controls all of our buttons. But this is kind of just what we're given out of the box by default. We just have to make these adjustments. Oh, look at that. Cute little hover kind of thing that we're going to have to figure our way through at some point. Okay. See, a lot of interesting little nuggets that we're going to run into as we try to recreate what we see here. Okay, what do we want to do? Unlock the power of experiences. I mean, the first thing is, let's see if we're, how close are we out of the box on our typography, like our font sizes and things like that. Let's see if we can get that dialed in. There we go there. Perfect. Okay. And this is going to say start your free trial. Start your free trial. And that one is going to say view demo. All right. And immediately I'm just going to take off button action. It's already a button outline, and I'm just going to replace that with button black. And that's going to give us a black outline button. See, easy as that. I just need to customize what that does on hover. Okay, let's make these actual links so that they're focusable. So I'll just do # for now. Let's go ahead and # for now. I don't know why I switched those two things around. I did that on accident. There we go. Let's put them back. Let's see if we can get this in here. And this is actually a video. See, save video as. And I believe I saved it. Let's go ahead and delete this, and let's insert a video. And I don't even know if we're going to be able to do this. Let's see. I didn't even check it. I just said, hey, let's do file URL, video file URL. I guess we're going to have to manually upload this. So we're going to go back in here. We're going to go to media, and we're going to see if I've got that video file on my desktop somewhere. Downloads. Okay. Maybe I need to download it again. Let's go to save video as. All right. We're going to put this in downloads. Excellent. And let's see if we can get that popped in. Here's the media library. Let's go drag that file in. Here it is. Grab the file and pop that bad boy in. Oh, it's going to give us this player. Let's get rid of the controls. Okay, that's a little bit better. Oh, and I can see, okay, the background, our ultra light background is not in fact matching. Imagine that out of the box just by, randomly choosing a value, it doesn't match. So the first thing I'm going to do is make it match. So I'm going to sample this right there, and I'm going to Google it again, and we're going to see the HSL is 38,198. That's very, very, very light, okay? So 38,198 are our values. It's so easy in automatic CSS to go into base. We're going to go into base shades. Remember, we're using the ultra light, okay? So the hue is 38. So a little bit of a hue adjustment, definite saturation adjustment, and a little lightness adjustment there. We're going to go ahead and hit save. And then we are going to refresh on the front end. That is an exact match. There is no seam anymore. And so we've achieved exactly what Zendesk achieved, except for the fact that it looks like our aspect ratio for this video player is a little bit off. It's not something I'm really going to worry about right now, because once again, I don't want to get bogged down on this. I don't even know how easy it is to change the aspect ratio. Let's see, 6. Oh, okay. Looks like it is going to be pretty easy. We just need to figure out what aspect ratio they were actually using. Okay, 2.1575. Maybe we go with that. Let's hit save. That looks like it's protecting all of our data there. Let's go ahead and refresh. Excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Only thing I'm seeing is it's more off to the side. It's a little bit smaller, which means this is not a 50-50 grid, right? By default, this grid that we are using on Hero Alpha Inner right here is a 2-3 grid, okay? Let's try a 2-1 grid. Oh, that's not good. How about a 3-2 grid? That's more like it. Let's save, let's refresh. That's getting more towards what they've got going on here. Theirs looks a little bit, okay, we may have to abandon our grid variables if we want to match this exactly. I'm trying to think here. Let's go min max 0, 2FR. And then if we do that again, we're going to get a split grid, right? I can do 2.5. It would actually be this side. 2.5. Can really dial this in. I think that ratio is, yeah, that's a bit better right there. Oh, it's actually, their right side is still bigger, okay? All right, so their right side is still bigger. So let's go 2.25, 2.15. I'm just kind of eyeballing it. We're not trying to be exact. We are trying to get close. Fairly good right there. There's some spacing stuff that we're going to adjust, but the good news about that is it can be done later on. Let's keep going. Let's keep working down the page. Let's put in some other content here. That is large text, okay? So I can just come in here and say text L, and that's going to make that bigger. And then I can also kind of, I guess a question here is, do they always bold it when it's large? They bolded it here when it's large. Let's inspect this and see how big this is. Computed, font size, 20. What is it here? 24. Okay, got it. And it's not bold. So their normal font size is 20. Let's see if we've set ours to that. So typography, 20. That's our base size. So we're good on our base size. What is 24? Let's see. 20 times 1.2 gives me 24. So it's 1.2 is their scale. So I'm going to set my scale to 1.2. My mobile scale is going to be 1.125. I'm going to go ahead and hit save on that. Excellent. I'm going to refresh. Okay. That's going to radically change my H1 size. So what I'm going to do is match their H1 size. I'm just going to manually determine this. That's 88 pixels. I think that's what they did too. They're not following any sort of mathematical scale, I don't think. So I can go to heading overrides, and I'm going to put in 88 I'm just going to leave whatever our default minimum is for mobile, but I'm going to put in 88 for desktop. And that's going to give us an exact match of their font size. See that? Now I just need to figure out what their line height is on their headings. So we're going to come down here. Line height is 1em plus 8 pixels. Wow. We're not going to do that because I just don't see any reason for doing that. Let's just leave it the way that it is for now. In fact, I'll just tone this down a little. It looks like it's just a little bit closer anyway. And again, it's not about pixel perfect design. It's about achieving the semblance and the layout and the flow and the balance. All of those things need to be correct, but nobody needs to pixel peep and make exact matches. The days of pixel perfect web design are absolutely dead. It is irrelevant to the work that we are doing. Okay. So we've got a good start on our hero section here. I want to get our buttons. We're not going to do all the craziness with them right now, but I do want the pill shape implemented, which is fairly easy to do. We can just go into buttons and links, and we're going to go to button border styling. And for the radius, we're going to do 100 V. I think we can just do 50 VW and save. And that's going to give us that nice pill shape. There we go. Okay, perfect. This black outline button, we want to make sure that we've got that going. So we're going to go down to black button outline. Background hover is going to be black. So we're going to use var black. And then the border color on hover is going to be black. The text color is going to be var white. And the text color on hover is going to be var white. Okay, no, this is var black when it's not hovered. Save. Let's go ahead and see if, there we go. That's good. That's good. All right, we'll do all the fancy glitch effect with the text and all of that at a later time. Again, we don't want to get bogged down in technicalities. What we want to do right now is, there's our large text. We're going to need, do we have a grid gap in this? We do. I feel like this right here, this alpha lead. Okay. Yeah. This alpha lead, we're just going to limit its characters. Okay. So 20, 30, 40, something like that. Where does it wrap on theirs? I don't like that they have an orphan, right? That's what I want to avoid that. So I'm going to hit that. And then whenever it's textile, it looks like we're going to bold that. So I'm going to unlock the class. I'm going to unlock the ACSS class. I'm going to go down to typography. And I'm just going to say, hey, whenever we do textile, I want you to bold the text. Okay. Then I'm going to go ahead and lock that class again so we can't accidentally edit it. But on this site, whenever it is large text, we are going to bold the text. Okay. So we've got this section going. We need this down here, this little line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a container to our section. So we're going to add a container. It's going to give us a new container down here to work with. And we are going to put a border on the top of that container. And I don't see that this is an accent heading with a border. I don't see that that particular container is used anywhere else right now. So I'm not going to worry about like it having a custom class and all that. I'm going to kind of make it a one-off thing. I don't even know what I would call it. We can call it like hero bottom or something. I don't know if it's ever going to be used again. So we can just call this hero bottom just in case it is. And we can always edit that class name if we decide that we need to. And it looks like there's just large text in there. So I'm going to add a basic text element. We are going to make sure that it's a paragraph. I'm going to grab this. That's actually an image right there, Gartner. Okay, so I'm going to grab this, pop that in. We're going to say that this is text L. It is large text. And then I'm going to throw that image in. All right, and then we are going to select the image, and it's this Gartner image right here. Perfect. And then all I need to do on hero bottom is let's just align those in a row. Let's align them to the center like this vertically. And then we're going to make the gap 0, 0. The column gap, I suppose, needs to be 1 half an M. We just need to make it look like it's aligned properly. Let's go ahead and refresh there. How's it look on theirs? Okay. So they position theirs a little bit better. We can do baseline, I think. There we go. Baseline is exactly what we want. That looks to be what they are using as well. I feel like even with baseline, it's like a pixel or two off. So I'm just going to come in here and I'm going to go with layout. We're going to position this relative. And from the top, we're going to go like 2 pixels. And I'm just going to make like a little, this is called an OCD adjustment right here. It's just a static one-off. Actually, 2 pixels would work best there. But that's what I call an OCD adjustment. Okay, on this hero bottom, we are going to put a border on the top. 1 pixel, solid, and we are going to use base trans 10. And then I'm going to add some padding. So padding top, space M, see if that gives us a good padding that kind of matches, and it does. Only thing is it looks like our border might be more like 1.5 pixels. Okay, 1.5, save. Okay. All right, see all these little accent borders? Oh no, it's not 1.5. That's too thick. Let's go ahead and do 1.25. And I'm noticing that all these borders on Zendesk, like this one here, they're all the same thickness. This one here. And so if we ever need to change these, that's going to be a nightmare if we have to go find all of them and just like, we don't want to use a static value here. Seeing that this like border style, okay, which we can call like, man, we'll call it, I'll just call it border width. We'll just call it border width. So what I'm going to do is in appearance theme file editor, here's our child theme CSS file, right? And I'm going to come in here and go like something like global styles. Okay. And I'm going to go into the root and I'm going to make something called border width and we're going to go 1.25 pixels. And now what I'm going to do, we're going to save that obviously. And I hate that you can't Command S to save in here. We're going to go var border width. Just like this. We're just going to use that variable. Let's go ahead and hit save. Let's refresh. And there it is. You see it there. And I'm changing my mind. I'm on the 1.25 thing. I'm going to go back to 1 pixels. I do think that that's more accurate. It's probably what it is. And then I'm going to go into our header because we did put a border on the bottom of our header. And now we need to change that to reference our border width. So here we go. Border width. Save. And now these are linked together permanently, right? I can control my border width from anywhere. All right. So I think that's a good way to go. All right. So next we need to zoom out. I think we're doing really well. Let's go ahead and see what our next section beholds. Take a quick tour. So I'm going to go in and add a section here. I'm going to collapse this one, add a new section below, and I'm going to use an intro because I feel like this is very basic and I don't feel like building it myself. So I'm going to go ahead into remote templates and I'm going to type in the word intro. And it looks like intro echo is exactly what we are looking for. Now we're going to have to make some small adjustments to it, like get rid of the accent heading because we won't be needing that. But this says take a quick tour. We're going to take a quick tour in there. And then on the right-hand side, we're going to put in that text, and we're just going to change the ratio of this grid. And I'm going to, let's see, left. I'm going to use our auto BIM feature to rename these classes, okay? Because I want this intro to be hours on this website, right? I don't want it to be a frames intro anymore. So I'm going to BIMify this, and I'm going to say create new and delete old. We are going to copy the styles, and this is going to be intro horizontal. All right, so we've got an intro horizontal. See, it's a horizontal intro. I think seems like a good name, right? Intro horizontal, and then we'll sync the labels, apply the classes, delete old classes everywhere. And now intro horizontal, this is ours to use on this website. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and change on intro horizontal the grid structure. We're gonna just flip it. It's gonna go from 2-1 to 1-2. And we will refresh. And guys, that is pretty much exact. What are they doing here with these? Don't tell me that's an H1. Okay, it is an H2, and it's 64 pixels. So what I'm gonna do, automatic CSS, let's just get this synced up here. See, I adjust these as I go. And then once you've kind of built one page of the website, almost everything is set now. Almost everything is done, and the rest of the site is just a seamless bang, 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 putting in your variables. Everything is already taken care of, and everything is globally managed. It's really, really, really good. Okay, so what did I come here to do? I came here to do the heading size overrides. 64 pixels for H2s. And then I refresh on the front end, take a quick tour. Okay, let's see theirs. All I'm seeing here as a difference really is the gap value, okay? So our gap value on that container is going to be grid gap. I'm gonna say grid gap times 2. And that's gonna give us a bit more of a gap there. Okay, and that's actually pushing that to a different row, but it shouldn't be. Let's see, let's refresh this. Is there not enough room? Oh yeah, okay, so there's not enough room. So what we may end up doing, let's do 2, 3, and I think that's gonna solve our problem. Yes. Look, oh my gosh, like, man, it's really, really, really close. Okay, well, let's keep going. What else do we have in this section? All right, we've just got a big container with what appears to be a background image, and then we've got this see Zendesk in action thing. Okay, got it. Well, here's our container right here. We're going to put in, that is kind of like it's just a decorational background image. It's the thing with the plant in it. So I'm going to come in here and go style, backgrounds, background image. And do I have it? Hopefully I have it in here already. And it doesn't look like I do. Okay, let's save that real quick. Save that to downloads, and let's pop that in. So tour background goes in. Let's insert. Perfect. And then what I'm thinking we're going to need to do here is we're going to put like a minimum height on this. So I'm going to say min height is, and we can just measure theirs. I guess that's the easiest way to do it. So I'm going to inspect, it's 868 pixels high. So I'm going to say min height is 868. Awesome. Now we need to put a container in there. I'm going to put a block basically. And let's see what we're going to call this. This is going to be a CTA card. And I'm wondering if, yeah, we can just build that. I'm sure we have one as a frame, but I'm just gonna call this CTA card vertical. And we are going to say the width on this, how do we want to do this? Yeah, let's do a max width, whatever the width is on here. So that's 340. So let's do 100% wide with a max width of 340 pixels. And then the background color on that looks to be the base light color. And I want to get this base ultralight situation sorted out before we go any further, because we don't want to get too far not knowing which ones we should be using. So I'm going to do base ultralight here. And then all we're going to do on this container, I'm kind of doing this at the ID level. We'll call this tour CTA. Okay, tour CTA. So we're going to go center, center, and that's going to put our little card right in the center. Now in our card, we need an image a heading, text, and a button. So we need 4 elements: image, heading, text, button. And just for scalability kind of purposes, I always recommend blocks inside of your cards for this. So you're going to have basically what it amounts to a media wrapper. And then the content wrapper is going to have everything else. So we're going to call this CTA card vertical. And then we're going to call this media wrapper. We're going to call this content wrapper. Excellent. I think we're good on our screen recording. Yeah. Okay. And then I'm going to put our media in here. So this is going to be media. Let's rename that. And then in our content wrapper, we're going to have our other pieces of content, which is a heading and text and a button. Perfect. Now I can pretty much BEMify all this stuff. So this is the tour CTA. So I'm going to auto BEM this, and we're going to call it, CTA card vertical. It's going to make all of my classes down here. Let's go ahead and apply those classes. This can say CTA card vertical because my OCD, I don't want that to be offended. Okay. First thing I'm seeing is we need padding inside of our card because we don't want content touching the edges, obviously. So in CTA card vertical, I'm going to go with space M, and then I'm going to apply that to all sides. That looks to be about right. And then we need a gap in our tour CTA card. This is going to be a content gap divided by 2. And then in our content wrapper, we're going to do the exact same thing. Content gap divided by 2. I'm trying to figure out why that did not apply there to CTA card gap vertical. Oh, okay. I applied it to the wrong thing. All right. That's why it didn't work. All right. What is in this CTA card? Oh, it's a dude on a bike. Okay. Where's the dude on the bike? Dude on the bike. Dude on the bike. We don't have a dude on a bike. All right. So let's save this. Save as. Download here. And go. Here we go. All right. Let's bring in dude on a bike. There he is. Drop. Save. Perfect. Okay. Now this is going to say see Zendesk in action. And then we're going to throw in our text. Excellent. And then we're going to throw in our button, which is start tour. Start tour, link type, external, £. This is going to be a button action, just like that. And then in our content wrapper, we're going to go with typography, center, content, center. Okay, save, perfect. I'm really liking this. What are we doing with our background or our image here? Let's go ahead and just get actual dimensions for this. 160 pixels. And that's allowed to be fixed. You know, we don't have to use rems for that. That is allowed to be fixed at 160, okay? And then in our media wrapper, we're just gonna do the exact same thing. We're gonna center that, and then we are going to refresh. Let's get out of our header. Let's refresh the page. There's our quick tour. I'm noticing that this has that base light background now. So let's go here, BG. We're just going to use a utility class, base light. Save, and you can definitely see that those colors are off, right? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to sample this. Pick color from page. Let's sample. Let's go Google it. We're going to get the values 38, 47, 93. 48, I have terrible short-term memory. 48, 37, 93, I believe. 48's already good. 37, 93, save. Now we can refresh between those. Nice. Okay. Zendesk. Let's see if when I sample here, if we get the same values. Okay. 40, 86, 97. 40, 86, 97. 40, 86, 97. I think what we might run into, because HSL and hexes don't always, like I'm sampling hexes, but then putting in values for HSL, and HSL spectrum and hex spectrum are two different spectrums. They don't always match to absolute perfection, right? But when you're looking at it, if you're comparing like back and forth really fast, you can tell. If you're just looking at it when you load up, you can never tell. You can't eyeball it and know. But there's theirs, here's ours. And yeah, we're like really, really, really close on this. Okay. I think we're looking pretty good. We've got our CTA. That's not rounded corners or anything, right? Everything is squared off. Everything is good. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Looking really good. We also need to get, remember, we can't forget here, there is a sticky header situation going on that we're going to have to account for when we build out our header. Okay, let's see if we can get one more section, and then I wanna end probably there because I don't want these videos to get too long. We're gonna make it a multi-part series, working our way through the build of these pages. Okay, I think we're gonna skip this section for now because this is the super technical, like you can easily get bogged down here. We'll reserve that for next time. We can definitely do this right here, okay, which is, let's see if these are different sections just bumped up against each other. No, that's all one section, okay? That is all one section. So let's go ahead and add another section. We're going to get rid of this and this and this. We don't need all these tabs. Okay, so let's add another section here. We can start to label these. All right, this is the tour. This is the hero. So we have the hero, we have the tour. What are we gonna call this next section? Take your support personality, loyalty. We'll call this loyalty. We'll call this the loyalty section. All right, so let's name that loyalty, just like that. We're gonna reserve a container for all of this craziness happening right here, and our bottom container is going to be for this. And I'm just gonna use a frame for this, honestly. We're gonna use content alpha. I already know that content alpha is exactly what we need. It's like the most basic layout imaginable on the website, like the most common modern layout of like 2-column media next to a block of text with a little CTA. It's like you'll see it on every freaking website in existence, right? The only difference is I need to swap my media and my content. So I can just do that and swap them. And then what do I need here? I need that background image. And now they're using border radius, which is interesting. They're not really using border radius anywhere else but right here. But I need this background image, and then we need to get a play button on the top, okay? So let's go in, and we can just use actually this image. And I think you're gonna see here, let's go, we need to add a block, okay? This is gonna be a media wrapper. And I'm gonna call this, and we're gonna rename these in a minute. So FR content section alpha media wrapper, FR content section alpha media wrapper. And then we've got media in here. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and auto BIM this to our own thing. So this is gonna be content. We'll just call this content alpha, right? And I'm going to create new and delete old, copy the styles, sync the labels, apply classes, delete everywhere. Now that frame is ours. It is unique to this website. It's got all of our own classes on here. All right, so I'm gonna go in here and we are going to pop in that image if we have it. Do we have that image from Zendesk? I don't think we do. Let's go ahead and hit save as. Good, and let's drop it in. Go to the Finder, hero, this. There it is. I was like, oh no. No, don't download the whole website. What are you doing? Save. Oh, okay. Okay. Is it a background image? They used a background image. We're going to use a real image. I mean, we could use a background image if we wanted to. Where is that image? Where have they placed that image? Where are you? Where are you? Span. Div, maybe it's this div right here. Let's go to computed. I need to go up. I need to put this on the side because you guys can't even see half this stuff half the time. Okay, where are we? Inspect. And this is the problem with divception, guys. You can never find what you're looking for in the code because there's 1,000 different divs. That the thing could be hidden in any of these things. Background image. Okay, it's not that. That's like the whole section. It's got to be, if it's not in this one, could be in the next one. I don't see it in this one either. I doubt it's in the span. What else is in this? Oh, there's the image right there. Okay, let's just open this in a new tab. Save that. Wow. All right, sometimes you got to go on the hunt, my friends. You got to go on the hunt. Okay, let's drag that in. Let's go ahead and insert there. Oh, it already has the play button in it. Look at that. Okay, that's cheap. Do they not have a hover effect on that? All right, let's get rid of this. Oh, they do have a hover effect. Well, they're not clearly doing that with the image. They're doing that with something else, like a black circle. What are they doing there? And why? Why do it that way? That's not the way to do it. What I'm basically going to do is manufacture our own play button, and we're just going to put it right on top of that. So I'm going to add a div, and this is going to be inside of our media wrapper. And we're going to call this our play button. Okay. And then inside of that, I'm going to toss in an icon. All right. And so we're going to call this content alpha play button. Actually, we just call it play button. And we'll just call it a play button. That's all we have to call it, because it can be kind of used anywhere. So we'll just call that a play button. The icon will be play button __ icon. And I need a play button. So I'm going to go into SVG, and I have one already. We're going to throw that in. Okay, there we are right there. Little tip. When you're using icons in bricks, it doesn't actually assign the styles to the class, even though the class is selected. It's a little bit of a bug. So what I do is do icon size for the dimensions. It's a locally scoped variable. And then for the fill, I do icon color. So that's icon color. And then I can control everything from play button right here. So I can come in and I can set the icon fill and the icon size. Okay, so icon size 2M. See how I got bigger. And then icon color. We actually want this to be white. We want our backgrounds on here. So I'm going to go to backgrounds to be base. Okay, just like that. And then we want this to be an aspect ratio. Actually, we can do aspect ratio in bricks now. I don't know where they put it, but you can search for it. We'll do 1:1 on the aspect ratio for this. And for layout, we'll do 3M. And height is 3M. Okay. And then we will center everything in here. So we're going to use flex, and we're just going to center. That's going to put everything in there. And then I am going to go to border radius of 50 VW on all sides. That's going to give us a circle. And we've basically manufactured our own play button. I just need to make sure that it's the right size. I'm trying to size it up with this one right here. That looks to be about right. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and hit save. Might even be 6M. 6. There we go. Okay, let's go ahead and save that. And now let's position that. So the play button in this case is going to be positioned. I'm going to position this at the ID level, because I don't know if every play button, actually, you know what? We'll call this an overlay play button. Then I can just center it on the class level. So for the position, we're going to go absolute, and then we're going to go top 50%. We're going to go left 50%. That doesn't actually put it in the center. So what you have to do is translate it back into the center. This is a common technique that you use when centering absolutely positioned elements. So we're going to go to transform, and we're going to go to translate X minus 50%, Y minus 50%. And look at that. It's right there in the middle. And then what we want to do is we want to scale this on hover. So when people hover, we're going to do root. I'm going to zoom in here for you. Let me go to custom HTML. All right. So root on hover, we're going to scale 1.1, which is basically scaling it up 10%. And that's exactly what we get right there. And then we just need to transition that. So we're going to throw a transition on here of scale 0.3 seconds, ease in, out. And that's going to give us a nice even scale effect. Okay. I think we might want to go, no, faster. Nope. There we go, right there. Okay, save. Now it looks like our transform origin is a little off for how that is scaling, but that's something that we can fix later, no problem. We get the gist of what we wanted to accomplish there. And what we're going to do is, what was I about to do? I was about to do something. Oh, I was about to give it a link. I wanted it to actually link to somewhere. So play button is a link, and we're going to say that you are going to an external URL of #, okay? And actually, I'm sorry, that's not even a link. That's because we're not navigating this. This actually is a button. So we're going to do custom, and we're going to do a button. Save, refresh, And now we have an actual physical button. And I think our scale is a little aggressive. We want to do like 1.05 or something. 1.025 even. Yeah, just a tiny, small little scale. Nothing crazy, okay? All right, let's get our content in here. Take your support personality. Okay, put that in. Awesome. And then we're gonna grab this text right here, which is just, oh wait, no, that's the wrong site. We need this text right here. And we're gonna pop that in. Perfect. All right, save, refresh. And then what's our call to action say? Explore all features, and that's actually our black outline button. So we're gonna swap that, explore all features, get rid of button action, throw on button black, and throw on button outline. Okay, there's our outline button, save, refresh, look at that. I can tell that our grid gap is much, much, much larger on this website, okay, than the one we're using. So I'm immediately gonna go into spacing. I'm gonna go down to grid gap, and I'm gonna say that you are XXL. It's like a pretty large grid gap, okay? And let's see if we are alpha enter. This needs to use grid gap. Okay, perfect, save, refresh. There we go. We got a bit more space going on between our elements and our grids. Okay, so this is what we've got so far. We've done a lot of custom stuff. Again, we're not trying to build these sites as fast as we possibly can. What we're trying to do is work quickly, work efficiently, but really what we're most concerned with is quality. Is the website we're building scalable? Is it maintainable, right? And not is it maintainable, it's like, is it efficient in that regard, right? Is it a nightmare to maintain and scale, or is it able to scale and maintain with ease? And things like all of these custom classes that we're using that are on everything, all of the variables that we're using, making sure everything is tied together. This is protecting the scalability and maintainability of the website. We don't want to race to build trash. We want to work quickly, work efficiently, and arrive at the highest quality outcome, which is a scalable, maintainable, accessible website using these practices. But again, you know, we worked for maybe an hour, I don't know, and we've got the bare bones of a header up here. We've got a hero section with a video. We've got this call to action section in place. We've got our colors pretty well dialed in. We've got this section right here. We've got a little bit of a start on a footer. We've made some really, really good progress. So in the next video, we are going to either tackle the navigation or perhaps the that little, let me go to the actual website here. We may tackle this. We'll probably actually definitely tackle this resources area, this call to action, this return on investment area, probably, and then we have this area down here to build as well. So yes, we've got a lot still to do. It's a great website to use as an example, I think. If you have questions about this series, drop them down below. If you have questions about automatic CSS or frames, we are happy to jump in and help you. Until next time, my friends, peace.